You just got your first ever Saint order and you unboxed it, you threw all the little paper away. Now what? This video is to help you know exactly where to put those tins and what to do with them. First off, you are gonna get 2 main shades. This is the part where it gets a little confusing, okay? These main shades, one is a light one is a dark one, okay? This light one is your concealer shade, this dark one is your foundation shade. When I put them in my palette, I like to go from light to darkest, but you put it in any order you want. First, I'm gonna take that light shade, I'm gonna take the lid off, and I am just going to pop it right into my pretty little palette here. Next, I'm taking that darker foundation shade, and I'm gonna pop that right in the palette next to it. Next, you're going to take your contour shade. This is a cool dark brown color, not to be confused with your bronzer shade. Okay, we are looking for the contour shade. If you have any questions on these tins, just text me and I will help you with this. Let's take that cool dark brown color, and that goes next. Pop it in there. This is where you're going to take your bronzer. This is the warm brown color, and pop that in right next to it there. See how I went light to dark? Next, let's pop your illuminator in. This is this glowy color. This one is honey, and I am just going to pop it right underneath right there. Lastly, find that lip and cheek and just pop that in that last spot that is open on your palette. How pretty. If you got any eyeshadow or setting powder, put them on the bottom layer, okay? Always put your powders on a separate layer than your creams because they break apart, the glitters come out, and you just don't want that in your makeup. Now that your pretty little palette is all put together and you're ready to use it, let's get some makeup on. I am going to start with my concealer shade. That is that light color that you put in first. Remember, these are both called main highlight shades. The lighter one is for under your eye. It's your concealer color. It's gonna cover redness, sunspots, any blemishes you have. It's your color correcting shade. The other shade is your main foundation shade. Let's start with that concealer shade. And I am going to show you how to use the cheetah hack method today. This is a method where you just apply with your finger. And this is what I recommend to my beginners. And then once you get a little bit more familiar, we can use your brush to apply. I am taking that concealer shade and I am just dotting on. I am not using very much. That is one of the biggest adjustments with this makeup, is that it is cream, so you don't need to pile it on like we are used to with our other makeup. Next, I'm gonna go in to that darker foundation shade, and I'm going to apply this across the forehead. Just applying dots right where I want that makeup to go. Across the top of my cheek, right in my beard or my mask area. If you are someone who does not want to put your finger in your makeup and apply this method with your makeup, I would suggest that you get the multitasker brush, and it is just a little brush and it does the same thing as applying with your finger here. Okay, make sure you're not using too much. I still sometimes use too much. Next, let's apply that contour. This is gonna go on places in your face where you have natural shadows. It is accentuating and sculpting the features that you already have in your face. So we are carving out that cheekbone by putting it right under your cheekbone. Be careful not to come too far down. Okay, do the same on the other side. I put it across my forehead to bring that shadow down a little bit. And then we are going to carve ourselves out a jawline. And you don't have to use too much of this either. This is up to your preference. If you like a softer, subtler look, use a little less. If you like a more sculpted and defined look, then use a little more. So I like to do my whole face of foundation, blend it, then I will add in my bronzer, my lip and cheek, my illuminator, all that stuff. If you want to do this all in one step, then just skip the blending, put the things where they go, and blend all in the end. I'm going to show you how I like to apply it, but you do what works for you, okay? So I have already sprayed my brush with setting powder, setting spray, and I am just going to blend. So I am using the dual-sided 3D foundation brush, using this chiseled end, and I'm just gonna go in and start blending. When you blend, you should always blend that lightest color first. Now I'm gonna flip, and I'm just gonna start blending that foundation shade in. Now I'm gonna go in with my contour. Now is when I'm going to apply my bronzer, my illuminator, and my lip and cheek. I like to do this after I've already blended in my makeup. I just like to do it that way, so you do it however it works for you. I am putting this bronzer that is that warm brown tone, right? That is going in places where you naturally get sun. So across your forehead, tops of your cheeks, tip of your nose, you're making a backwards 3 on your face. Then we're just gonna blend. Now that my bronzer is all blended in, I am going to go in to my lip and cheek, and I am just going to apply that on the tops of my cheeks. I always make a C shape around my eye. I take whatever is left, pop that on my lips, then I blend some more. Last step, let's pop on a little bit of illuminator. This is meant to go in places where you just want a soft, dewy glow. So I like to put it right on top of my cheeks there, pat it down my nose, a little bit on my Cupid's bow, and then in the corner of my eyes. Sometimes I'll put it here. Then I'm just gonna blend. That's it, I'm all done. I've used all the colors from my all-in-one customized palette. I used my 3D foundation brush to blend, and I am ready for the day.